Good morning. It is Friday, July 18th, and this is about the third day with the Gangsta Grannies. And I thought I'd do a quick check in this morning. I just drank my coffee and I'm up getting ready for a couple of things. One, I'm meeting with the Soul Safari team. Part of that development is a little different than most businesses do, and part of this is the leaders of that retreat have been committed since April to doing the work of healing and really learning the tools and putting the tools to life in a real way. Part of that is about really the platform of healing first, that we could just do business together and that would be good and there wouldn't be anything wrong with it. But part of that is, we get in situations where it's just chasing dollars. This work is about healing first. And if the leaders aren't willing to do that, then really what is it we're offering to others? It's not that it may not be good information, but if it's good information that we won't apply to our own lives, then what are we doing? You know, we're selling you a lie. And so this morning, we've got a meeting scheduled as we'll be doing Healing Circle and talking about the tools and getting ready for the upcoming Soul Safari, which I'm very excited about. It'll be in Kitale, Kenya on November 6th through the 13th. The team will be converging before that to do some additional on-the-ground training with the leaders at Tabasamu Africa Hub. So I'm super excited about that. And we want people to participate. One, because you support healing first and want to learn some new tools that might make your healing journey easier. And easier in a sense of having the tools to be able to process deeply and quickly things that are happening in real time, but also things that have already happened in the past that we need to unravel and heal from so that they stop taking from our life on an everyday basis. Usually in the behaviors that really are just compensating the fears and the guilt and the insecurities that we have. So we're excited about that. I'm also excited because this gives us an opportunity to work with leaders from 4 of the countries in the region of Africa: Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania, as far as I'm aware currently, leaders that are connected with Tabasamu Africa Hub. And part of this is Tabasamu Africa Hub, instead of doing this for the dollars, that part of the revenue generated from this will allow them to be able to provide scholarships to some of their leaders. And that's part of what this collaboration is really allowing to do, or allowing to happen on the ground there. So we're excited. We want people to come and participate. There's information on the websites, nowastedtime.com or globalundergroundrailroad.com. That's like on the front of my mind most days. One, because it also grounds me so that I'm not out traveling. I want to convert my visa. I am in Ecuador. This is September will be 3 years, but I applied for my visa, and 2 years ago, December, it'll be 2 years that I was awarded the professional visa here in Ecuador, and I could renew it. I could just renew the visa and get another 2-year temporary visa, but I really wanted to convert it to a permanent residency here in Ecuador. Planning on staying a while. So there's some criteria for that if you're going to try to convert to a permanent residency. And part of that is the number of days you can be out of the country. So in the 2 years from visa to the time to apply for the permanent residency, you have 90 days that you can be out of country. And I don't keep real good track. And sometimes if your passport's not stamped, you don't have your in and out days. So I have made friends with the lady at what they call the movement office here. And it's at the airport here in my city. And I literally paper and pencil, okay, in, out, in, out. Because sometimes if you move and come back on a day, anyway, both ends of the day count, whether you're in country or out of country. You lose a day if you leave country that year or something. And I'm not telling you right, which is why I go to see the lady. And she helps me, very kindly helps me. And I know that I'm pushing the edge of my 90 days, especially with this trip to Kenya. But the dilemma that I've had is, but I want to take a birthday trip. And last year, I think my birthday trip was maybe about 3 weeks. And I just bopped around places, chasing music. There were some concerts I wanted to see, and I went to where the concerts were and a couple of places in between. So I have been watching those days, and I said, I'm going to be in Africa, and there's some places I want to visit while I'm in Africa. So I've been really trying hard not to use up my days so that I'll have days for the retreat and the training time that will be wrapped around that. The team will be together for 2 weeks, even though the retreat is a 1 week retreat for participants. And then I said, well, I'm already there. I've already spent the plane ticket to get to the African continent. Maybe I should leave out of the retreat, which will end, the time with the leaders will end about 3 days before my birthday, and then do a birthday trip. So um, I'm trying to stay still. Uh, and in my downtime, while I'm staying still, this month, the Gangsta Grannies are here. And I'm super excited about that. Um, and there's a whole lot I could say, but I'm not, because I got training this morning. And so I'm not going to be too long-winded, but just kind of checking in as that progress happens with the Gangster Grannies, who will be here for a month. Really passionate about women and older women healing. The cohort happens to be all Black women, which adds a whole nother element to the program that they're participating in for a lot of reasons. And I'm really passionate about that, because if communities are going to heal, you need strong women. You really need strong older women. You need strong older women who are committed to healing. And that's really what this program is about in a nutshell. That if you've done life, you have to be at least 50 years or older, or grandmother at any age, because that's kind of younger and younger. But that means there's a potential for 2 generations behind you. And you've done some life. And I feel like it's a real courageous thing to be in that chapter of life specifically, especially in the generations that we've lived, in some of the socialization and the values we've picked up in that socialization. The strong, independent woman, I can do it all. I can do it all by myself. Just a whole bunch of stuff that sometimes is damaging, sometimes has been damaging, and just the courage that it takes. And this work is about, how do we support the things that are going in sustainable directions? How do we give our energy to those things? And part of that is under the Heal Together programming that's a part of the International Welcome Center. I wanted to focus on older women. And so we had the first cohort of Gangsta Grannies Global, and there's a whole story behind that that ties into my granny that I call Gangster. But the January cohort came, and Diamond and Wendy participated in that cohort. And then the July cohort, Danielle and Wida, kicked off on the 15th, had some travel delays, so they didn't get here till the 16th. Travel delays in the United States that caused, flight delays and just changes. But Danielle got in as scheduled on the night of the 14th, or the afternoon of the 14th, and so graciously waited in Guayaquil for Wida to get in, making sure that she got in and that they could travel the rest of the way to Cuenca together. I suggest and encourage people to fly in and out of Guayaquil, but it's a shuttle ride from Guayaquil to Cuenca. It's a $12 shuttle ride, so it's not a real expensive trip. But it's about 3.5 hours, because it really winds up and around the Cajas Mountains, which is a beautiful view, and just the scenery that helps to slow your pace down as you come into this space, into this center, especially for this work. And if the trip and the travel doesn't slow folks down, the elevation will. And yesterday, Wida was out walking and came in and shared that she was feeling the effects of the elevation. You can't move as fast as you think you can, or as fast as you could at sea level. And I really learned about that a little bit more in detail to understand it when I took up scuba diving, of all things. When you go down, it compresses the molecules. So you're able to take in more oxygen with the same amount of breath energy. But as you rise, the molecules expand. And so as those oxygen molecules get bigger, there's less that you can take in. Well, that's at sea level. Going down under sea level, and the pressure going above sea level into this elevation does the same thing. Those the oxygen molecules continue to expand. And so as you breathe, because they take up more space, there's less oxygen that you're able to get into your body. And so imagine holding your breath. You're not getting in enough oxygen. And it's kind of like with every breath you're getting in, a little less than you might normally be getting in. And so it just takes a while to acclimate to that. Your body starts producing more blood cells, so there's more oxygen going through. But on day one, oftentimes that has not happened. And so while most visitors don't get ill from altitude sickness, it requires you to take it slow. It requires you to not go up those stairs as fast as you might have or might think you could or might have done before you got here if you're living at a lower elevation. Um, and she went and rested, which was exactly what you do. You rest, you hydrate, you slow down. And I think that too is another just really quirky, cool thing about this whole project and this location. Um, like life, doing life here forces you to move at a pace that for me is so much more honoring to my body, to my mind. I slow down. I slow down because I go to the market and I buy every ingredient individually, and I stop and talk to the vendors and get hugs sometimes or yappas, which makes me happy. The extra goodies that I get sometimes just as you're walking away. Hold on, hold on. Here's some tangerines or here's something special. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a life that has not only given me freedom of time, um, but puts me in a place where I'm reminded regularly about slowing down and about there being enough time in life to do the things that are important, about being focused on doing the things that are important, making that a priority, but like realizing there's enough time for me to do the things that feel important and things like rest my body, feed my body, um, take naps if I need to in the middle of the day, or move slow, or not put my outside clothes on because I don't want to. And I don't want to move that fast into my day or into the life, even with things that are really important to me and that I'm passionate about. So I'm grateful. And so the ladies are here in this space. They're crisscrossing. We've got some unhosted visitors that'll be leaving today. Sadly, they've been here for a few weeks and we've had lots of playtime. The daughter and I of the visitors went and did ceramics. So I've yet to get mine glazed and fired, and they're out of time. So the teacher is going to coordinate them getting their pieces in the States and connect them with some artists so that they can have the experience of doing the firing and just the finishing process. So I'm excited about that. I made quite a few things on this particular class. I think there was 10 different things that I made. I made vases that'll go into the guest rooms. So I'm excited about that. And I don't remember what else I made, but I made stuff. I made stuff that's probably going to give me joy when I see it again because I can't quite remember all that I made. But I made vases and yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. I made stuff. So it's going to be beautiful. And I'm going to tell everybody that comes to my house, I made this. I made this. That and Holly's helping me repair. One of the pieces I made in the first class I took with her, I made a mancala board. It's a game. You play it with seeds. I think it comes out of Africa. I'm not sure where, but it's a game that I played over the years. One of my daughters and I would play sometimes, and that was one of the projects I made in the first class that I took with Holly. So I managed to push it off of my coffee table because I was putting my feet up on my coffee table and I pushed something that pushed it and off it went and it cracked. And so I took that in when we went to class, and she's helping me glue it back together. And so it'll also be able to come home at some point when I go back and pick up the rest of my pottery. But they are leaving out this afternoon. They've got an early morning flight, and I just suggest that they leave out in the afternoon before late night and not do that travel late night or super early in the morning to get to a morning flight. So they're going to go out this afternoon. This is their second visit, so it's been great seeing them again. Um, yeah, that's what's going on. So there's motion happening here. The ladies are doing the work. We're going to go to the market tomorrow. Not sure if I'm going to Frisbee Friday or not today. Just depends on my energy level. But I'm excited about going to the market, taking them there and letting them really see and choose from the abundance. That's part of our agreement that we go grocery shopping together, because I can't carry all the groceries for when there's multiple people here. It takes all my hands to carry groceries for myself. So they're going to be here, and we'll be doing that, I know, Saturday. Good morning, Weeda. We just coming and getting breakfast number one this morning. I've been up. That garlic was giving me life. I said, let me get up and go work on that. Have a good morning. See you later on. And so the ladies have early breakfast for those that want to get up and come down for first breakfast. We might have second breakfast. Sometimes we just go straight to lunch, but there's often early breakfast number one downstairs. So Weeda had come down to get some tea and breakfast. This morning there's croissants, and I made a guacamole spread or avocado spread to be able to do avocado toast, or to put that as a base for like an egg sandwich or something like that. And then butter was the food highlight of my day yesterday. One of the bakery, I didn't realize they sell the big bags of cream, and I was out of butter. So I made some butter yesterday afternoon, because isn't that what everybody does? They sit around and make butter. And so this morning, that, and I have this brand new garlic. It's a little garlic. It's a really strong garlic that I picked up at the market. It's the first time seeing it. If I can save some, I'm going to put some in my garden and maybe grow some and just see what happens. Um, but I was thinking about that would be really good. And so I did that and made kind of an avocado spread for the croissants. But the butter, I took the butter and used some of that fresh garlic and made a fresh garlic butter with the butter I made yesterday. So it's got this fresh garlic in it that's really quite strong, and some red pepper flakes and a little bit of pink sea salt. And so they've got that they can put on the croissants. They've got the avocado spread that's got a little bit of diced pineapple and garlic in it, and a little bit of salt. And I used the pineapple because I used up all the lemons yesterday. I mean, the limes, and I don't have any. And I didn't want to go out this early in the neighborhood hunting for limes. So I used the pineapple, and it actually turned out really nice. I like it. And they can fry an egg or whatever. And there's coffee and tea. I used the skins from the pineapple to make a tea and added some cloves and cinnamon. And then I have some tea bags. That's a fruit tea. The fruits here, mora, strawberry, and it's called red berry tea. And it's three of the red berries here: mora, strawberry, and something else. I can't remember. Maybe blueberry. That makes a nice tea. It's supposed to be good for you. And I like using things, you know, fully, the core and the skins of the pineapple, and you boil that. And I sometimes will add some of the cane sugar, the panela. It's a different flavor, and I'm kind of getting used to this. And so when company comes, since I don't have a restaurant anymore, they get all of my food experiments kind of put out for them. And I don't force them to eat them, but oftentimes they're pretty good. Last night's food experiment was an Alfredo sauce, a pasta Alfredo sauce using the local cheeses. Um, they didn't have what I wanted that I thought would work well, but what I used turned out to be pretty good. So they get the outpouring of my food experiments, which was one of the joys of running a farm to table restaurant. But healing, back to healing, and then I'm just going to wrap it up, because just sharing what's happening around here, there's a lot that happens that people really don't know, uh, because there's so much to be happening on any given day. And sometimes I'm the instigator of the something that's happening. But the healing work that they're doing, the ladies are going into a deep dive. And over the course of these 30 days, their goal or the agreement is that they work through 30 of the healing cycles, really taking a deep dive and using these tools, especially while they have the support. They have the coaching support that goes along with this month. And so each day, they've got a calendar that helps us kind of move through some of the things that they really have on their heart that they want to address and deal with. And they're challenged to work with things that maybe things they don't want to work with, but really the reality is if we work on the things that are the hardest, what are the things that you'd go to your grave and keep quiet? The things that feel too hard for you to deal with. What happens if you heal those areas of your life? And the reality is everything else is easier. You know, those are the hard things. That's why we don't deal with them. It's too painful, too dark, too whatever. You insert your own explanation for why you aren't dealing with those things. And real tools have to work. Talk about healing. It's only good if it's helping you heal. And you're the one that knows the results. And so they're challenged to come bring those things and use the tools and see if we can't work those things through to resolution. And it's requiring courage. It's requiring honesty. Um, and I remember early in my healing commitment, saying being honest with myself is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Looking at myself in the mirror and just being honest. Being honest. Not the stuff that we portray out in public, but like the real you, the you that you know and only you know. And I can identify with that. And part of this process says, remember how hard that was? Remember how uncomfortable that was? Remember how scary it was? What if I dig up this stuff that I've been trying not to feel? What happens? What happens if it spins my whole world out of orbit? At least I can maintain right now. At least I can tread water. Life may not be good all the time. I may not feel good about life or the way I'm living it, but I got to change. And part of that is a process that many people go through as they come, especially if they're working through this deep healing. And so I know that it's going to take courage. It's going to take real honesty. It's going to take, sometimes you got to just go, okay, I can do this. I can do this. It's not too scary. It's not too painful. I can sit with these feelings um, until I'm done sitting with these feelings. So part of this is just helping me in the mornings remind myself and be in the right frame of mind to do this work with them. Um, Healing is not something I want to rush people through. I want them to heal at their own pace. I want them to heal from the things that they feel are important to them, because that's the same freedom I want in my healing experience. And so offering that environment to these ladies, but knowing that it's going to take courage and energy, and sometimes they're going to need naps because it doesn't seem like a lot of physical exertion, but the emotional exertion sometimes can be as exhausting and draining as if they were out doing something strenuously physical, like going up the steps after you've just gotten to over 8,000 feet elevation. Um, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be a part of their healing journey and to be able to be witness to the work that they're doing, but also the transformation that happens um, as we go deeper. And this doesn't mean they haven't been healing and doing the work and finding really good ways to do that more deeply. This just adds some additional tools to their toolbox, some tools that may help them do the work more specifically, like really honing in on where our hurt is, where our damage is, and do the uncovering. It's taking off those layers so that who we really are shines through more honestly. Because I think the truth of who we are is love. Um, and if we remove these things, our fears and our guilt trips and the insecurities that we pick up because we do life in a place that's traumatizing, I think we start changing, we start healing, we start moving into our purpose and the passion, and life just starts feeling differently. So glad to be a part of it. Again, we're in about day 3 in the journey. So we're just getting started and just getting acclimated. And the ladies have been sharing already about their journey and their experience, a little bit about their windedness. So if you haven't chimed in and aren't following them, definitely check out Danielle Brooks and Weta Patton. I know they're posting between their Instagram and their Facebook pages. You can go to Sustainable LaRahna on Instagram, or you can go to find LaRahna Hughes on Facebook, and I tag them in some of my posts. You can also go to Gangsta Grannies Global. The link is in the chat, and I've got some of their social media tags in there, as well as some of the participants in the first cohort. So you can chime in if you haven't. Good morning, Wisdom Connection. You can chime in if you haven't followed the January cohort of Gangsta Grannies, and definitely lock into Weta and Danielle and follow them in this month. They'll be here through the 15th of August. Good morning, Latisse. How are you? Uh, there's a new batch of ladies in this week, and I gave them the update on the hula hoops yesterday. I did not confirm that the hula hoops really don't work, but I did tell them that there might be children's size, and maybe that's an excuse for why they don't work so well. But I did tell them that they're over there, um, and just kind of checking in the mornings and getting myself in the frame of mind to be able to support them in this work. Glad to have had you down here. That's Latisse in the chat that I was just kind of speaking to, that she was here and did our healing vacation retreat. These women will be doing that times 4 in this month that they'll be here, and we'll be sharing about that. And so we're just excited about that. Excited about some of the new initiatives that'll be coming into the new season. This cohort ends the 2024-2025 season for our Heal Together programming, where we focused on the Gangsta Grannies Global Older Women in Healing. And the next season, I'll rest from this and really move into the next season, where I'll be focusing on the Umbrella House, which is a healing house model, both for individuals that want to come and participate in that extended healing residency, but also our Healers Who Heal programming that really is going to focus on those who feel called to heal others, or to assist others in their healing, and about the healing work that our healers need, and being able to support healers in that way. And so both of those will be things that I'm really excited about. And Soul Safari, part of the requirement for the Umbrella House is that you participate in training, at least the Healing Vacation Retreat and the Soul Safari meets that requirement for training. So for individuals that are thinking about coming and doing an extended stay in the Umbrella House program, we put a lot of information online. You can go to nowastedtime.com or globalundergroundrailroad.com and click on the link for the Umbrella House. We talk about it being really affordable way to be able to heal and rest, and maybe realign your life in a way that's healing, in a way that ties into your passion. And the focus this next season will be specifically on healers that may want to come and do that extended sabbatical that the Umbrella House program provides. We've got lots of ways to help you be able to coordinate that and be able to afford it. But the information on the cost and just all of that is online. Try to be as transparent as possible in the way that we do business and some of the program offerings. So definitely go there and check it out. There's a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to maybe do this more often, at least this month that the ladies are here, and just share some of the other things that are happening down here that you may not know about. They're on the website, some details. And if any of these things interest you, just reach out. We're pretty easy to find on social media or WhatsApp, the Linktree. Just there's ways that you can reach out and find me. And we'd love to be a part of your healing journey too. And we're looking for individuals who may want to connect with this work in a real way here in Ecuador, still holding space for that, really in active team building mode for those that want to come do this work, because we can do more together. And so if you are hearing this and feel called or feel led to really want to connect in a deeper way, then by all means reach out. And I'm going to go maybe work on a cup of coffee number 2, and jump in with the leadership team from Soul Safari. One of them is in Kenya right now. The other was in Ghana, but is back in the States right now. So I think we'll have 3 continents on this call this morning. And they just give me joy and they motivate me. And I'm really grateful to be working with them on this project and excited. And that's my alarm saying you got somewhere to be in about a minute. So thanks for joining in whenever you may see this. Subscribe so you get the updates when I post new stuff, because I post stuff randomly. But definitely check out our Gangsta Grannies. Send them some loving energy and prayers as they journey down this journey a little bit deeper. So have a great day. Thanks for joining me this morning, and live life fully today wherever you are. Thanks. Bye.